Hello and welcome back to Allison Russian Crafts. Today I'm going to be using the Beautiful World stamp set and the matching die set that go with it from the World of Good suite. So the die set is the World Map dies, and I'm also going to be using the Scripty 3D embossing folder, which is this one. I've got, just move those out of the way. Let me show you what I'm going to actually be making. I'm going to reproduce this card. Now I need to make 12 of these for a Stampin'Up Demonstrator team swaps that we do regularly. So I need to make these in bulk. So I've already cut and prepped a batch of card bases. These are an A4 sheet cut lengthways in half and then scored through the centre of them. So that's 297 by 15 and scored at 149 to make a nice little temp fold there. So I've bulk cut those. For the next layer, the card back and you can see, for this background layer here, I cut some Merry Merlot up, and these are 13.5 by 9.5, and we're going to do some stamping on those. I've done some, next layer for this part here is 11 centimetres by 7 centimetres, and I've actually embossed these. This is where I've used the embossing folder, if you can see, with those for each of those. I'm going to be using some of the red rhinestones. The two colours that I've used in this is Merry Merlot and the basic grey. You're going to need a dauber or a sponge of some description, and I've just got a little cocktail stick there as well. Right, so let's get going, shall we? Right, first off, taking the card base, we're just going to get the sponge dauber and the basic grey. I'll just put some paper down for this. Just going to just give it a little bit of colour around the edges, just to make it look a little bit older. We're looking for sort of old world map style in this. So no, don't need to be too precise about anything. Just a little bit, just to sort of dirty it up, I suppose. There we go. Nice and simple. I don't know if you can see that. Camera. Then taking the Merry Merlot. And our next layer. We are going to stamp. So I've mounted the stamps already that I'm going to be using today. Right, so I've got the feather die and the compass, and I'm just going to randomly stamp some of it off on the back around, turning the stamp so that it's not too uniform, just to give us a a little bit of background and a bit of interest. And it doesn't need to do too much because a lot of this is going to be covered anyway. Concentrating more around the edges. Nice and quick and easy. There we go. That's our background sound. I missed a little bit there, but that doesn't matter because that's going to be covered up anyway. Right, let's move that out there. Let's get my chamois. I think you've seen me use this before. This is absolutely brilliant. You just dampen it with a bit of water. It looks filthy, but that's actually cleaned and it doesn't come off. It cleans your stamps. Lovely. It's very easy to use, especially as a travel item. If you're taking a kit with you, you don't need loads of sprays and things. So that's those two done for the moment. And then we're going to bring in our little piece of embossed, and I'm going to go, oh sorry about that, we're going to get the grey out again. I've lost my dobber. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. And I'm just going to lightly add a bit of the basic grey to the top of the Merry Merlot as well. Again, not being precise, just to bring out some of that writing and just make it look a little bit dirtier. You're looking for an oldie woldie sort of look. There you go. And that's it. That's enough sponging on that piece. Pop that to one side. I'm going to, on here, stamp all those items and get them cut out. So I've just got a piece of scrap Whisper White, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment up using the basic grey again. So I'm going to fussy cut this out around the edges, so anywhere there's good. So we'll be needing that in a minute. Let's go. Clean that one off again. There we go. And then literally we're just going to go through, cut this, always remembering that you're cutting and moving, when you're cutting rather, sorry, you're moving the paper, not your scissors. If you notice my hand with the scissors in is staying still. And it's just turning the paper, and it gives you a much smoother and easier cut. Nearly there. I like this sort of trimmed out look on some sentiments. Some look lovely when they're stamped in a frame and you use a die for it, but this one suits being cut out, and also shows a bit more of that background. I'm just going to add, not re-inking this, so it's just what was already on there, just a little bit, not too much, just to bring in a little bit of that sponged look put to it as well. So let's put that one to one side. Now taking another sheet of Whisper White, we're going to stamp in the basic grey the base for the globe. We need the inkwell. That's those in that one. The globe and the feather. I'm going to stamp that one up in the Merry Merlot. We need our feather. That's lovely. Let's close that up before I get myself covered in ink as normal. Quick clean up with our chamois. Now, otherwise I'll end up either dropping them, knocking them down and covering ink everywhere. So that's why I tend to try and clean up a little bit as I go along. Right, let's just move, oh sorry, not the camera stand then. Let's just move all those out of the way. So we are done with those. And then these, all of these have dies to match. I can cut all those out with. So we've got the one for the stand, one for the inkwell. We'll use this one to cut out the world, and then a brilliant one there for the feather. So I'm just going to go and get all those cut out, and I'll be back with you in a moment. Right, that's all our elements cut out there. So again, I don't want that bright white of the background, so I'm just going to take the dauber again that had the grey on it. I'm not adding any more to it because I don't want it to be dark. I'm just adding a little to it just to take that bright white away. Bright white look away. There we go. Right, let's get working on the backgrounds. Okay, we're going to start getting the card up together in a moment. But first, if you can see on my first sample, I've just roughed up the edges a little bit just to give it that sort of tattered and worn look. So I'll show you how I did that. First off, with the piece that we've stamped on, I'm just going to take an old pair of scissors. Don't use your best scissors for this. And you're literally just going to run it down the edge. that. And it's just roughing up the edges, not really tearing as such. Well, we hope not. I don't want to go that deep with it. You have to be quite firm with it, but not so much that you're going to, say, rip your paper up. It's the corner little bits that are the hardest to get. There we go. So that's that part. Right, then I want to do the same with our little piece that we embossed. The other method for this as well would be actually to tear it. A lot of at the time it's quite nice to actually have a proper tear, but I quite like this frayed look for this one. I've made some recently with the tear method, so just wanted to try out something a little bit different. And it doesn't matter that you're bending and lightly creasing these, because again it just adds to the effect, just making it look a bit more aged. So don't worry too much about that. There we go. Right, let's just clear up some of this mess. Move this back in. Right, I'm going to glue this piece down at a slight angle. So just using my Tombow mono glue. Just going to pop it down at a slight angle. Top of there, nice and flat. And then this piece, I'm going to take, if I can find it, my cocktail stick. I just want to curl up these edges just a tiny bit. So I'm just putting it into the corner and then gently rolling it. Not too far, but backwards and forwards a few times. You want to break down the fibres so that it's not too stiff and you end up with your little curl. And then on the opposite corner. Before you do this, you need to just, or before you stick it down, you need to make sure, there we go, you've got your writing up the right way. And I'm going to glue that on at that angle. So, because it's embossed, I'm going to make sure I put plenty of glue on the back so it catches. So round about there, leaving the edges up just a little bit to the centre. Pop that in. If anybody wonders where I'm putting my glue, I've got these little glue holders that my husband made me on his 3D printer. So, and I always store my glue up that way so it's all ready to go. And obviously the glue is then at the nozzle end. So it was quite handy to get a little pot of something. Other things that I've used in the past. It's just one of these, probably, sorry, but one of these little post-it tape runners. So always a good little tip is to try and store your glue up that way, and it's ready to go. Let's move those out of the way. Right, now let's have a look. We now need to start assembling everything that's on there. So let's get our, find my glue dots. I think I'm going to need, so some dimensionals. Actually, I'm going to use for this, sorry, not glue dots. So I've got some large and small here. And I think I'll put a few, one in the centre of the world. Because I do not want a soggy middle on it. No, that's quite a lot for one little piece, but I know it's not going to sag then. So there's our little world. We want one in the middle of our ink well. And go one. I think this one fits there. And then I'm going to use one of the little minis up at the end. And I've got a tiny cut piece that I'm just going to put, it's not going to stick for some reason. Put backing on it. Yeah. Tiny little piece. And that's just trimmed off from one of the edge pieces. There. And then again, one big one there. One there. And little snip ones. Just to make sure it all stands up. One's gone flying. Cut it off completely so it's got the backing on it as well. Oops. Pop that there. Right, now we need to look at our positioning. I think we're going to go. I always like to lay it down first, just to see where I'm going to put everything. I think I'll put this one down first. That's going to be the key part. Remove all the back ends. About there. Sorry, nice and straight. World in position. Once you've actually got these cut out and prepped, they actually don't take that long. Put a little inkwell down. Such a lovely set. Makes really nice cards with this. I have a few more to show you over the coming weeks with this set. I'm just going to pop the tip so that it looks like it's in the inkwell, and press him down. Right, we just need some dimensionals now for the back of our sentiment. Again, I'm going to put just on there, throwing it around. Small enough to go on there. And we'll have that around there. See, it's all coming together now. Let's move those out of the way. A couple more things to do. Just to glitz and glam it up a little bit. So let's move all that out the way. And I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella. And I'm just going to go over the feather, just to give it a little bit of sparkle, the inkwell, because that would be shiny, the stand. It just enhances and brings out the beauty of these just a little bit more. And then on the map, I'm going to use it just to highlight the mainland portions. There we go. And I think all I need to do now is just add my little gem. So I get my lid off with your take your pick tool. I popped a gem on the eye for the beautiful, and then to just for on the quill there, for the quill handle. And there we go. Two very quick cards when you're making them in batches. The idea, as I say, is to prep everything first, and you'll see from my box the tricks here. I've already, already prepped everything, so I'm going to go on and continue making these today, and hope the recipients in our card swap enjoy them. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that you've seen me using today to make these cards, I'll leave all the links to the products, to my shop, and the product listing in the bottom of the video that you can have a look on, whether you're looking on YouTube or on my Facebook page. And you can go on over to my store at Stampin'Up to actually purchase these if you wish. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you do, and I look forward to bringing you another video shortly. Thank you. Bye.